My son threw me out expecting me to beg him, but I left, taking everything with me and… The night my son told me to leave, I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I simply picked up my coat and smiled, the kind of smile a man wears when he's finally done being underestimated. I am 72 years old, my back bent from decades of honest work, my hands rough with the memory of labor. People see the wrinkles and assume weakness. My son saw them too. He mistook silence for surrender. "Abba," he said, arms folded in the doorway of the house I helped build, "you can't stay here anymore. This isn't a charity." Charity, the word echoed like a slap. I looked around the living room, new leather sofa, wide television, shiny marble floors. Every brick of that house carried my fingerprints. Every corner whispered stories of sacrifices I never bragged about. I nodded once. "Very well," I said, "I'll go." He waited. I could see it in his eyes. He expected tears, expected me to beg, expected me to remind him how I paid his school fees, how I skipped meals so he could eat, how I worked double shifts so he could study abroad. I did none of that. Instead, I walked to my old wooden room at the back, the only part of the house untouched by renovation, and opened a small steel trunk. Inside were papers neatly wrapped in cloth, yellowed with time but sharp with truth. By morning, I was gone. When I married my wife 45 years ago, we owned nothing but hope. I drove a rented truck by day and repaired engines by night. Slowly, painfully, we built a transport business. One truck became three became 10. I never registered it in my name alone. Everything went into family trusts, partnerships, documents too boring for a young man to care about. My son grew up watching comfort bloom. He learned confidence, not caution. When my wife passed away, Allah took my anchor and my son became distant. The house felt colder, louder, sharper. Still, I stayed quiet. A father learns early that love sometimes means restraint. Until restraint became eviction. I moved into a small rented flat near the mosque. The landlord looked surprised when I paid 6 months in advance. I furnished it modestly. I prayed. I slept peacefully. 3 days later, my phone rang. "Abba," my son said, voice tight, "there's a problem." "There's always a problem," I replied gently. The bank froze the business accounts. The lawyer says the transport company, it's not mine. I closed my eyes. "It was never yours," I said. "It was ours, family-owned, under my trusteeship." Silence. "You threw me out," I continued, calm as evening prayer. "So I stepped aside. Trusteeship doesn't belong to a guest." His voice cracked. "Please come home, we'll talk." "I am home," I said, and ended the call. News travels fast when power shifts. Relatives who never called suddenly remembered my name. My daughter-in-law sent messages filled with apologies polished like glass. My son came to the mosque one Friday, standing awkwardly near the gate like a boy who'd lost his way. He looked smaller. "Abba," he whispered, tears in his eyes. "I was angry. I thought you were controlling everything." I placed my hand on his shoulder. "I controlled nothing," I said. "I protected everything." I told him the truth then, not with bitterness, but clarity. I explained how legacy is not furniture or walls. It is responsibility, respect, continuity. "You wanted me to beg," I said softly, "but a father who begs his son has already failed both of them." He cried. I let him. Weeks passed. I restructured the business, not to punish, but to teach. I brought in professional management, gave my son a salary, not authority, told him to earn trust the way I once did, mile by mile, night by night. The house, I never returned to live there. Some things, once broken, must be replaced with wisdom, not nostalgia. Today, I sit on my balcony at sunset, tea warm in my hands. I hear the call to prayer drift through the air. My son visits every week now. He listens more than he speaks. Sometimes he asks for advice. Sometimes he just sits quietly beside me. He learned something important the day he threw me out. I was never powerless. I was patient. And patience, when it finally stands up, takes everything with it: dignity, truth, and the quiet strength of a father who knows his worth.